You walked up in here, you're talking to my partner, calling him bro. He's over twice your age. You should be calling him sir.
This is 18-year-old Christian Hillman, who has been hit with a brutal reality check.
Me and my buddies, we were riding, and all of a sudden, this guy in this truck just pulled up behind me. And he started.
You were on what? What were you driving?
What was I driving?
Yeah.
I was driving the PCR 230.
Okay.
You gotta look that bike up, nice man.
I will.
It's nice, man. But anyhow, the guy in the truck pulled up behind me. He started blaring his horn at me, and I had no idea why.
The guy Christian mentions is none other than 64-year-old William McFarland. On September 29th, like any other normal day, McFarland was returning home to Atla, Michigan from a peaceful fishing trip, and what should have been an ordinary journey turned into a fatal encounter. An argument with Hillman would not only cost McFarland his life, but also leave his family scattered forever.
Let me ask you this. Where were you at when you were riding? This guy pulled up behind you. Where were you at?
Well, I don't know if you guys know the area.
I do. I used to work years ago when I worked the street. I used to work there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But do you know, like, 52nd and Whitneyville?
I know where 52nd, where the railroad tracks are there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
You're an OG, bro. So I kept stopping, I kept asking, like, hey, what are you doing?
What do you mean you stop and ask? Like, you talk to him, or you're just kind of giving emotions?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
like, what are you doing? She was trying, like, he wouldn't go by me. He just kept riding my ass. So basically, I stopped for a second, and he started getting all mad, getting out of the car and everything. And I was like, I don't want trouble and anything. And he put his hands around my neck. And there was a thorough ass beating after that.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like I was in self-defense, though.
You feel like what?
Self-defense, though, because he really did attack me first.
Okay.
He carefully crafts his words, attempting to paint himself as the victim, a role he's far from deserving. With a casual demeanor, he seems confident that his story is fooling the detectives, but what he doesn't realize is that there were witnesses who saw the horrifying incident unfold right before their eyes.
Could I put these handcuffs on?
No, you don't have to put them on.
Alright.
Those aren't handcuffs. Those are ankle cuffs. You go around your ankle. Hell yeah.
So you're riding the ATV. This truck pulls up behind you, and it's just kind of following.
Yeah, like he turned his brights on. He tried to run me off the road. Like it's a small dirt bike. He pulled up the side and he started pushing me off to the side of the road. Like I almost crashed a couple times. And that's when I was starting to get irritated because, I mean, that's just disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had lights.
Mm-hmm.
And he clearly could see that I had lights, but, like, I don't know what he was
So was it already dark at this point?
Yes.
It was dark out?
Yeah.
You said he wasn't involved in the beatdown, so how would he see when he put his hands around your neck?
Well, he was there at first. But as soon as the fight started, that's when he wanted to shoot out.
Okay. So he puts his hands around your neck, and
like it was like a really hard. It wasn't just like a play thing. He was trying to strangle me.
And then what did you do?
Well, like I used to be an ex-heavyweight boxer, so he hit me in the face once, and then I just lost my.
Okay.
Like I don't know. But I really feel bad about it. Like, I really don't like resorting to violence. Like, I hate violence, man.
Sure.
But I just lost my temper.
Okay. Well, what did you do? I mean, you lost your temper. Did you yell at him? Did you spit on him? I don't know what that means. I wasn't there. So you lost your temper. What did you do? Explain the beatdown. What was the beatdown?
I kept hitting him, and I was telling him to please stay down before I have to hurt you more. Like, I really don't like hurting people, but he was going to hurt me if I didn't stop it.
Okay.
So I just had to completely make sure, like, he was immobilized. He couldn't hurt me. He couldn't hurt my friends.
Your friends? Who was your friends?
Just if one of my boys would have pulled up, like, I don't want him freaking out at him either. Like, I caused the situation. I take, like, full responsibility for my actions.
Mm-hmm. So all you did was punch him, and when he was on the ground, you kept punching him?
Yeah.
That's all? Were you punching him in the face, in the foot, in the arm? Where was you hitting him?
Well, I kind of lost control for a second, to be honest with you, officer.
Huh?
Well, like I said,
So then it sounds like you gave him a beat down, is the way you described it, right?
Yeah.
And then how did it end? What happened at the end?
Well, he was just laying there. Because I really knocked him out cold because I didn't want him to get back up.
Christian's claims of only punching William are another blatant lie. That night, he wore steel-toed boots, which he used to viciously kick McFarland, leaving him incapacitated. Medical reports reveal the horrifying extent of the attack. McFarland's chest bones were shattered into fragments described as Rice Krispies. Christian brags about being an ex-heavyweight boxer who never resorts to violence. But if that were true, why didn't he call 911?
Or if I get looking both ways, I get a call from Christian. All I hear is like frantic, like moving and stuff like that. And I'm like, Christian, are you still driving? Like, stop, like answer your phone. And he's like, this dude's unconscious. And I was like, what? This dude's unconscious. So I'm like, what? So I pull up some more and I see this like truck with its, hazards going off. I'm like, what the f? So I pull up.
So let me ask you this. So you're on the phone with Christian as this is going on?
Yeah.
Okay, so you call him, he answers, he says this dude's unconscious.
And I was like, what? And then I hung up and I put it in my pocket, pulled up to see where he was, because then it was just like a bunch of like muffling. It sounded like he was going like this. And I finally saw the truck, so I pulled up and he was like right there, and this dude's like laying there unconscious. And I'm like, dude! And he's like, dude, he choked me. And I was like, what? And I was like, we need to go, bro. You just knocked him out. Let's go, bro. And he's like, all right, bro, let's go. And he was like trying to like pick up his dirt bike, and like people started showing up, and he started like talking to all these people and everything. And I was just like sitting on the ATV like, what the fuck? And then he got on and we just jetted back to his crib.
Okay.
This friend is none other than Noah Bulowski, the one who snapped the infamous photo of Christian and posted it on social media. The way Noah speaks, it's clear that the incident left him deeply shaken. Despite being Christian's friend, even he recognizes the sheer inhumanity that Christian unleashed that day. His other friend will also agree that Christian indeed went too far that day.
Were you there when he took that picture?
Yeah. Okay. He was on the porch.
Do you know why he had him take his picture?
No.
Did he ask him to take his picture?
No.
Did Christian ask him to take it?
No. I'm not really sure. Like, the picture was just taken. I think he just didn't even say anything, just took the picture.
Okay. Did you take any pictures of him?
No.
No?
I just want to forget that. Like, I didn't want any pictures of it.
You said you have not had any contact with Christian since?
No.
Via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, these are all things we can check?
Yep.
No contact with him?
No contact.
Okay.
I appreciate you trying to come up with a story that, it was self-defense and this guy grabbed me by the neck, and I don't have the forms with me, but do you realize there was an event at the church when this whole thing took place? You were so angry you did not realize who was around, who was watching, who was listening. So, what I said earlier, and I know you're concerned, you said, I don't want to go, you got to be honest,
Yeah.
okay? And I'm not yelling, screaming, I'm being just giving you this straight up.
You're being cool, bro.
You got to be honest.
Like,
I've done this job way too long to know, one, you're not giving us certain names because I think this might be your boy, you don't want to tell on your boy, blah, blah, blah. We're going to find out. So that's not going to help you out when we find, or if it was another couple guys, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But the thing is, you're not being 100% honest, okay? Because there's two sides to the story, okay? 1 is yours, 2 and 3 is your buddies, 4 is the victim. So then you kind of look, all right, is the victim story going to match up to your story? But in this case, it's easy because we can take your story out and the victim's story out, and we can talk to witnesses who don't know you and don't know the victim. So for a case like this, it's simple. I mean, we just talk to the witness. What'd you see? What'd you hear? Who did what? Who did what next? It's better than catching it on video because you have witnesses who don't even know you and don't know. It's different if I say, Christian, yeah, we got 2 witnesses. Well, who are they? Well, it's the victim's cousins. Well, then that doesn't make sense. Of course, they're going to say, you did this. These are church folks is leaving a church, driving off, and witness this whole thing go down. And you guys didn't realize that they're standing watching this thing go down. They watched what you did, what you guys did. They heard what was said and what happened, and that's how we ended up there, is because they were the ones that called 911.
No, understandable.
So your story is not even close to what these witnesses, these poor folks, saw. It's not true.
You slipped up, buddy.
You got a lot growing up.
Get me an attorney. Bring an attorney in here.
Oh, yeah, really?
Okay.
Come sue the y'all.
We're not
I have the right to an attorney. You do get in here right now. And you can get
And
one.
when you go over to the jail, and then you can call and get an attorney. Okay?
What the f*** am I going to jail?
You'll find out.
You'll find out.
Big tough guy.
You're a
You'll
tough
find
guy.
out.
You know all the answers, bro. Y'all some assholes, bro.
Christian played right into the cops' hands, and now they had to break the gravity of the situation he is in.
We're doing a search warrant at your house right now. So my boss is out there at the house. I got a search warrant. Magistrate signed it. So,
Look, I got nothing to hide in my house, man.
I know, I hear you, but I'm just letting you know what's going on. I mean, I don't want you to think that I'm doing anything. I'm not making this stuff up.
Yeah, you keep it on 100, bro.
And you know, there is blood inside of that garage. And
In my garage?
Chris, okay. I don't know what other way to tell you, man. I'm not making this up, okay?
Oh, yeah, I know you're not making it up. You're a cop.
Inside
You're
of
a
your
cop.
garage, yes. There's blood inside of your garage. Okay? So, that's what we're dealing with right now.
Okay.
And we're in the process of finding.
Thanks, man.
Okay?
Oh, yeah, I understand.
When Christian hears that the cops are about to search his home, he knows he messed up. Panic sets in and he quickly asks for an attorney again, realizing the walls are closing in on him.
What's going on with the attorney situation?
We don't get you an
We don't
attorney.
get you
You
an
ask for
attorney.
an attorney. That's on you to get an attorney.
Okay, but I'm supposed to be publicly appointed ones.
You don't understand how the process works, do you?
It's not our job.
Well, whose job is it? Because I'm not
Your job.
I'm not about to answer a bunch more questions. I know my answer.
we're not asking you any questions, Christian. Then what question have we asked since you said you wanted an attorney?
Well, I mean, the thing is, he put me in these for absolutely no damn reason. I'm just sitting here cooling.
Okay.
I don't understand it.
You're being detained right now, okay? We're not asking you any questions, and it's not our job to call to get you an attorney. That's not our job.
Then whose job is it?
Yours.
Okay, well, I need my phone to do that.
Girl. You just hang tight, Christian. We're going to get the search warrant done, and we'll kind of decide what's going to happen next, okay?
How can we get a hold?
Really? You guys don't need to contact them. They had nothing to do with it.
Well, here's the thing. You're not running this investigation, so it's not your decision on who we're going to talk to.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to talk to you.
How do you know? You don't know what somebody else is going to do.
Oh, but damn sure I do.
Okay.
too.
Hey, yo, we don't do that.
Alright, well, give me my phone so I can call my lawyer. He about to come in here and get all this up.
It's clear now that he thinks that getting an attorney will get him out of the murder charge, so he keeps acting like a tough gangster and says that his friends will not talk to the detectives, but he is unaware of the fact they already had.
I was trying to be polite as hell for the first thing. Y'all start asking me some questions. Trying to be all nice to y'all. Then old Billy Bad over here thinks she has a bad, she's one bad mother. Play that. And I'm just gonna let y'all know too that y'all not let me see an attorney, I'm gonna sue the f out of you. Y'all gonna lose some f***ing bank.
Like any spoiled teen, he will now call his parents, complaining about the situation and expecting them to fix everything for him. But it will be interesting to see how his parents react.
You wanna know something that's got me super f***ed up? What? You wanna know something that's got me super f***ed up? What's going on? Well, right now, I am in the Kent County Police Department. I am chained to the floor, and they were refusing me to give me an attorney.
Well, we have to hire one. What are they charging with?
No, this is the thing, Dad. Like, literally, they will not get me a public appointed attorney, and that's their job.
Because we can afford one. They don't have to get you one after they're raining.
Alright, well, you're not staying in jail tonight. I'm sorry. Like, somebody's gonna have to bail me out.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah, you damn sure can.
What are you arrested for?
Well, for getting in a fight with that dude. I shouldn't even brought my ass down here. They're trying to pull that good cop, bad cop. That's hilarious. They think they got that shit all figured out like there's some OGs or something.
Christian, hello.
I'm 12. I don't give a f about them niggas.
Christian, come on now. You know, you're letting things work for yourself. Just talking like that.
No, but the only problem, this is what I'm not understanding here, is they will not give me an attorney which is supposed to be present during this time. They have me shackled to the floor. I am not violent. I have no weapons. They have me chained to the floor.
Okay. Christian, I don't know what to do about that. I don't know when we can get you an attorney. It's the middle of the night.
Alright, well, you're gonna have to come putting up with this bullshit. So, like, I'm cussing these cops out. They think they're all Billy Bad. They're really not.
So all this is going to get you in a lot more trouble.
No, I got freedom of speech. I can say whatever the f I want to those niggas.
Alright, Christian, you're going to be like that. I can't help you. I can't help you. You're going to just get more trouble.
Alright, well, I need somebody to come bail me out.
Well, I don't know if you can. I'll have to call my and see what's going on.
Alright, I'm
Listening to how he talks to his father, it's clear that he's used to having everything his way. This entitled attitude isn't just a coincidence, it's a direct result of his upbringing. Watch closely how he also talks to his mother, exposing the root of his arrogance and sense of entitlement.
Hello?
want to come down to the police station?
Well, I have the detectives here right now.
Alright, well, what are they saying to you, and what are they searching?
For the clothes that you wore.
The clothes that were? Oh. How you left them in the house?
So they were warrant?
Oh, they had a warrant?
Yeah. I'm sure they don't want to wear your dirty underwear.
Alright, no.
This is not a laughing matter. I know. I'm sorry, Christian.
Yeah, like, I'm really pissed. They have me chained to the floor.
They changed it to the floor?
Yeah, I'm pissed.
Why would they changed it to the floor?
Yes. So you come down here like right now and settle this out? So I'm not having it. They refuse to give me an attorney. They will not have a publicly appointed attorney come in here so I can talk with them. And that's my rights.
Yeah?
So they're breaking my rights. So basically, I'm coming back and I'm suing them for everything they had.
Gee, Christian.
Look. I got me chained to the floor.
You're laying on the floor when you're chained.
Yeah. Just come down here.
Well, I have the guys here right now, so I can't leave.
So I need help more. I need a lot more help than what they're doing right now.
Yeah, but I can't leave. I can't even go downstairs in the basement or anything.
Why?
Because they're doing a search. Whereabouts are you anyhow?
I am at the Kent County Jail right now.
Is that the one? Kent County.
Like I'd go knock on the door, but these niggas have me so the chain can't even reach the door to knock on it.
Oh.
Yeah, I just really need you down here.
Okay. So
So
I can't leave right now. I can't leave. These guys are doing their job, and I can't leave. You know? And my phone is dying, by the way.
really need you to be here.
So are you at the Kent County Jail House?
Yes.
That's what you call it?
Well, actually, damn it, hang on. I'm up. This is going to be a struggle. Listen, come on. Well, I'd rather not. I'd rather have you come.
I am going to.
You coming down here?
Yes, I am. As soon as I get a chance, I will.
All right, look.
Everything comes on it. And you're at the Kent County.
It's Kent County?
It's not with the sheriff's department.
What's the precinct?
Kent County Sheriff's Department.
Kent County Sheriff's? Yeah, I'm at the Kent County Sheriff's Department.
Kent County
Bro,
Sheriff's
can you
Department.
please get this off my way?
And that's our policy.
I understand, bro. Live comfortable as hell, man.
Yeah, sure. It's not made for comfort, man.
All right, man. Yeah.
Because I do have to plug my phone in somewhere.
Okay, well, I really need y'all to come down here and bail me out.
Okay, I will.
All right, so when am I supposed to be seeing you?
Well, I don't know how long the gentleman will be here. So I don't know.
My phone's on a low battery right now, too, and I'm pretty much...
Okay, well, hang up the phone, and then I'll come down. If they still think that I don't know anything, then I'm going to keep it that way. That way they don't have the time that you left, or the time you came back, or the time you left. So you got enough stuff. And that's...
Christian's conversation with his mom sheds light on their relationship and underscores how much his parents are responsible for his downfall. His mother's comment that the detectives don't know she's aware of his crime and that she intends to keep it that way shows the lengths to which she will go to protect her son. Her misguided encouragement will only worsen his situation, further entrenching him in his destructive path. And now you'll hear his demands, which will confirm that Christian is indeed a spoiled brat.
Yeah, man, I'm tired. I need to go to bed. Yeah, if y'all think it's going to sell, can you give me a double mattress?
Look, man. All right, here's the deal. We're just kicking it, right? We're just kicking it. You watch way too much TV, dude. Like the whole getting you an attorney, and now you're asking for a double I mean, come on, man. We don't We don't put in requests. That none of that happens. It's not real. None of it's real. I mean, if you're locked up tonight, you're gonna get what you get. I mean, we don't.
Oh man, I've slept on worse, believe me, bro.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, I don't get what this kind of facade is. I mean, it's like, no, we don't put requests in for a double mattress and your own room, and this isn't a hotel. I mean,
oh, that's not what I meant, like a double mattress, bro. I mean like a double mat.
They don't do that, dude. They just don't. No. I mean,
That's pretty whack.
But
Christian's privileged attitude becomes evident during his interrogation. He demands a double mattress and calls his parents, expecting them to fix his situation. His sense of entitlement stems from the way he was raised, and this is a pattern that repeatedly surfaces throughout the case. Driven by his desperation to leave the situation, he calls his mom once more.
Everybody just left.
They did. So do you think you'd come down here now?
Are you out?
What?
Are you out?
No, I'm chained to the floor.
They told me that you will probably come home tonight, but they have a lot of questions for you, and they don't know when that will be.
All right. Well, I'm going to have the best lawyer ever there, so their questions aren't going to do.
Well, one thing they said, this one detective guy said that they already know. They already know that, so you could tell them their names. But
you think I'm snitching out any of my boys?
the trouble of it is that they already know who it is.
Watch for I like it.
But they know who it is, so what I have to do is wait for you to call me when the detectives are in, but they're bringing you some clothes to put on because they're going to keep the clothes you got on. They took your boots.
Wait. They took my boots? What boots?
Your blue ones because they have blood all over them. This is not going over well for you at all.
No, not.
Just like you said, you did some serious damage, but the thing of it is I think there's two sides to the story.
There is two sides of the story. He grabbed me by my neck, thought he was all hard and everything, so tried to slam me to the ground. Hell no.
Well, you got his kick short then, didn't you?
Yeah,
Now you're going to pay the price because you overdid it.
Good. I mean, maybe he won't fuck with somebody else.
But like the detective here, he just says, he's got to answer some questions. He says he's just got to answer some questions. But the thing is, it is Christian.
All right. The thing is, don't come home.
No, please come home.
Why please come home?
I want you to please come home.
Why?
Well, you don't have to tonight if you don't want to.
No, why you want me home now?
Well, because of everything that happened. They just asked me, well, he's going to, they're going to let him go tonight and they won't keep him.
Wait, what?
They're going to let you probably be able to get out of the detective department tonight and come home. But if you don't want to come home, then you can do what you want.
It's appalling to hear a mother speak to her son who has committed a crime in such a manner. Instead of questioning his actions, she insists he comes home, showing a disturbing lack of accountability and concern. After hours of Christian sitting in the interrogation room, officers finally arrive to photograph the injuries he's alleged to have.
What's going on? This dude's gonna document your injuries that you got to your hands, your neck.
I have injuries in my neck.
You said he choked you, right?
Yeah, he grabbed me around here.
Right. So you should have injuries there.
And what I need you to do is stand up right here. I'm going to take some overalls to show this is you.
I'm going to need a little help here first.
Okay, I think that's what you're working on.
The officers, however, never found any of these injuries. Police discovered damning evidence at Christian Hillman's home, including steel-toe boots and blood-stained jeans with McFarland's DNA. On July 24, 2017, Hillman was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 22.5 years to 100 years in prison, with parole possible in 2039.
If I find the motherfucker who did it, I'm sorry. There ain't gonna be no trial. You don't take Timmy from me. You don't take my best friend from me that I grew up with, or other daughter.
This is 45-year-old George Brinkman Jr., who seems utterly devastated after his 42-year-old friend Suzanne Pfeiffer was murdered along with her two daughters, 21-year-old Taylor and 18-year-old Kylie Pfeiffer, on June 10, 2017. Following this horrific incident, George was taken into custody, accused of these brutal murders that left everyone shocked. Yet the story had just begun, and the real twist is yet to come. On June 12, 2017, when Taylor Pfeiffer's boyfriend Dale couldn't get in touch with her, he went to her house, fearing something was wrong. What awaited him inside was far worse than he could have imagined. Taylor, her sister Kylie, and their mother Suzanne were brutally murdered and covered in a blanket in their North Royalton residence. In a state of shock, Dale could do nothing but call 911.
The house was silent, the lights were on. You could hear the AC running. It was kind of damp and had a musky smell. And I opened up the bedroom door, and there was a comfort covering the entire bed. Wearing a teal blue shirt, her arm and leg were hanging off the side of the bed. Knew that they were dead, at least one of them. The bed didn't look right. I assumed there were others there, but I couldn't bring myself to look, so I turned right around and walked out. Didn't touch or look at anything else. I couldn't bear to do it.
Strangely, on that very same day, a nearby couple had also been found murdered under similar circumstances. At that time, no one could have known how these two cases would soon be linked in a way that would shock the entire community. As the authorities arrived at the crime scene, they found strands of Taylor's hair scattered around the house. But it wasn't just the hair that caught their eye. There was something unusually odd, something they couldn't quite ignore.
They had told us everybody and anybody was there at the house, at the scene. Family members, friends. The only one that never showed up was George. And that was odd.
The investigators quickly focused on George, the closest person to the family. When they approached his home, the night erupted into chaos as George refused to speak to them, which heightened their suspicions. This led to a dramatic 9-hour standoff with police, starting at 9:30 p.m. on June 12th and concluding at 5:30 a.m. the next day. However, this was no ordinary case. The real nightmare was only beginning, and what followed would be a series of unpredictable and shocking twists.
When did you learn that they were the victim of this tragedy?
When I was coming home from North Canton Sunday night.
Okay.
I think it was, I want to say it was around 8 when Taylor's boyfriend called me. I mean, I texted her during the day because when they go to they have softball on Sundays. When they go to softball, they don't answer the phone.
Okay. And what time period is that?
If I had my phone, I'd have it.
Okay.
Sometime afternoon. That's all. Okay. I don't know what time their games are scheduled, but I just said, hey, thanks for keeping my head straight yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're at softball or not. I can't remember. Give me a text or a message later and we'll talk some more.
Okay.
And when I didn't hear from her, I didn't think nothing of it because sometimes we'll go a day or two or 4 or 5 o'clock. And then I get the phone call from Dale and I'm like, no, you're joking, right?
George's emotional attachment to the family was undeniable, as was his concern upon learning of their brutal deaths. But as detectives scrutinized his every move, they grew certain that his character held a darker layer. What was disturbing was that he appeared caring as he recalled their memories. However, if he was indeed the one that had killed them, it is unsettling how composed he seems to be while looking dead into the detective's eyes and sharing the details. As the detectives realized he wasn't ready to open up, they shifted their approach, eager to uncover the truth he wasn't ready to reveal.
Just for my own understanding. Who's who here? Can you help us by kind of running through that day on Saturday? Just what you remember?
I know it's hard. It's the hardest thing.
Just run through.
I can tell you, Andy and I do this a lot. We get it, we understand. But you can help us. I mean, that's the thing. That's what we're here for. We're trying to do that. So your help is important. That's all the time. So Saturday, you start Saturday. Okay.
And if the was okay if I come over around 1, because I work till about 12.
Did you do that? Do you remember? Was that done by text message, or did you call her? Or how did that?
Text message, we never really talked about it.
Let me ask you a question. And this one, I gotta ask this to everybody. Did you have anything to do with any of this? What happened to them? I have to ask that to everybody.
I know you're.
I can tell that's
no.
Good. And can you help us work through? Can you help us work through kind of? Man.
I just.
You understand? I got to ask that question, right? Is that
what time do you get? What time do you get up on Saturday?
Yeah. Start from the beginning of Saturday.
I know it's hard. I know you don't want to do that, but you know what? Like I said, it's all about help.
You leave the house.
Around 7.
Do you remember? Did you get
to work?
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I had my Monster and my cigarette when I got up. Went to work, opened the warehouse, got everything organized, and then sat there and watched movie time on the computer until somebody decided to show up.
Anybody contact you during that time? Did you,
I'm sure.
Text messages?
You mean them?
Them or anybody else?
I texted Sue that morning if we could talk. I said about 1 o'clock, and she said that's fine. She said the girls might not even be home by then. I told her I wanted to discuss what was going on with me and work and with Amy and with everything. Because, I don't know, I was just having a bad day and I felt like Amy's house big. That's big. I hate this day. Please.
Well,
and I'm a 2-pack a day smoker, so I'm kind of hurt.
Can we get through Saturday? See what we can do?
Yeah.
I know. We can do that too.
All right, so I get this. I call Sue, text Sue. Sorry, wrong word. Told her I'll be there at 1. I show up at 1 o'clock. As I'm backing my van into her front yard, her and her girls are pulling into her car, and I'm like, "Oh, all right. I don't really want to talk in front of her, especially Taylor, because Taylor is." She's very sensitive. So I didn't want to get her upset. I wasn't sure if she had plans with Dale that night. So I went inside. One of the girls had to use the bathroom. And then they said something about wanting to go to the mall. So I gave them $20 to go eat. Say, hey, can you give me about 2, maybe 2:30 to talk to them? They're like, oh yeah, sure, not a problem, bye. Me and Sue talk.
What are you guys talking about?
I tell her about what's going on at work, how I think Amy's treating me. She tells me about her and her boyfriend Scott broke up. And then she started telling me about some guy that she was gonna hook up for dinner, and at that point I just zoned out because here she just broke up with Scott. She's already talking about dinner with another guy. And it hadn't even been a week yet.
That's kind of typical with her. Like,
she would do that. I mean, I don't.
What's your relationship with her? Were you guys ever romantic, or are you just like
always been
close friends?
Always only been friends.
Okay.
And we knew even back in high school it would never work anything other than friends. We're just Valley Forge.
Having listened to George's statements and persistent denials, the detectives realized that George wouldn't break easily. Determined to find a way in, the detectives changed their tactics. They delved into Suzanne's past, stirring his long-buried emotions, hoping that in a moment of vulnerability, he might reveal the crucial information they so desperately sought.
She's a good mom.
I mean, she can be a little overprotective.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit sometimes. She did have to know when they were in school what time her classes started, what time her classes let out, what time they ate, what time they did. I mean, she was a little too overprotective, but for the most part, she didn't have any issues with him.
How was she as a person?
How is anybody as a person? I mean, she got her goods and her bads. I mean, it's just
What did you like about her?
The whole, I hate to say it, but one guy to the other, just because they had money.
Okay.
Now that's her personal preference.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
You guys have a problem? You're an adult. Fix it. And I would tell her that. Hey, fix it yourself. You're an adult. I'm tired of trying to fix your problem. Well, come on. It's like, stop it.
Does she come to you a lot with her problems?
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even get a good morning text and be like, I hate my life.
Really?
Like, really? Good morning to you too, sunshine.
Yeah.
And then she would tell me either her car was having problems, or she was having problems with Scott, or her boss was giving her hassles. It was just something different every day. And when she came back from Disneyland, it's not a, hey, how you doing? I'm back. That was the worst trip ever. And all I said to her was like, I'm starting to realize you're never going to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And all expense. And all because Kylie said something. She'd never been to Disneyland, and dude looked out his wallet and paid for the trip in advance.
Sounds like a good dude.
Yeah. I kept trying to get her. I was like, you know what? Maybe you're too stuck up on Dave that you're ruining it with Scott. Mm-hmm. No. I don't do that. And then all I heard about, I miss Dave. I think Dave traded you in for a short little Asian girl with 2 children. Mm-hmm. You were his side piece the whole time. You found out about it because you found out where he actually lived and went knocking on the door and she answered. I was like, most people would walk away from that and say, you know what, I learned my lesson. Mm-hmm. No. She wanted me to go over there and talk to him. She wanted me to follow him to work. I said, no.
It's annoying.
I said, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I said, you got to learn. You got to get over him. He is not worth it. Scott's a tremendously better guy than Dave ever was. Yeah, I'm being blamed for it.
No, not being blamed for it.
No. And I don't know if I can say this, but I'm already in trouble anyways. I don't give a shit. If I find out who did it, I'm sorry. There ain't going to be no trial. You don't take Timmy from me. You don't take my best friend from me that I grew up with, or other daughter.
I have that. That's fine. I get it.
Who do you think could have done this?
I don't know.
I'm just
I don't know anybody that would. She can be annoying, okay? Women are annoying. Guys are annoying. Not that annoying. Kept to herself mostly. Unless she needed something, then she would very, very politely ask. Taylor, she needs to dad the chicken nuggets off your plate without even asking.
George, what made you think you're being accused? Can you tell me that?
like you said, the last person to see not 3 but 5 people alive.
Okay.
You don't just have questions and send SWAT to the door. That's why I thought I was being accused of these. That's why they came bum rushing the house last night. And the fucking reporter I was talking to.
When did you talk to a reporter?
She texted me yesterday when she found out that I was friends with Sue, Lacey Chris, for 19.
Do you know that? Like, do you know her? Or?
She just wanted to get me to go on camera and talk about the good things about. And I said I won't do that until I talk, because I was waiting on North Royalton to call.
Okay.
Because I don't know what the procedure is.
Okay. So she was texting you, asking you about this stuff?
She sent me a friend's request.
Is that how you guys were talking, was on Messenger?
Yeah. And then I was talking to her last night, letting her know that, you know, I had nothing to do with these 3, and that, you know, the cops are outside my house. I'm going to die one way or the other.
Can I ask you a question? Listen, George, look at me. Can I ask you a question? So here's something that's going on in my head. So, a abnormal reaction, right? Like, if the police came to my door, I wouldn't be in a situation where I would retrieve a firearm and then
I had it in the room with me when I saw them.
Listen.
I know.
Listen, look at me. Look at me. I wouldn't go to a window and put it to my head. I wouldn't sit there as a diabetic and just drink so much sugar that I put myself to a 460 blood sugar level. That's hyperglycemia. You're pushing diabetic ketoacidosis.
My blood sugar has been so high, I've seen lowers around things.
130.
I know.
Listen, dude,
my average was 550 though.
Listen. I'm not sitting here trying to dispute this, but listen, do you understand how kind of the totality
I see
of
how it
everything?
looks. I see how it looks.
Here's what I'm getting at, George.
I need a cigarette right now, or I can't talk anymore.
George, let me ask you a question. Let's slow it down a little bit. Take a deep breath. Relax. Okay? Let me ask you a question. With your hand, how did that happen? How did your hand happen?
I got mad at work Friday and I punched a brick wall. I thought it was a fake wall. It turns out it was a real cement wall.
Okay, what'd you get mad at?
We go in there.
It's
just work-related stuff. You know, nothing. Stressed. We're not getting out of there fast enough. I don't feel like I'm doing a good enough job. And I just turned around after I got off the phone with Jason to hit the wall. I thought I was hitting the wood wall.
Okay.
I was in the wrong spot and I smacked the cement wall.
Ready for a cigarette?
After all these accusations, George asked for a moment alone to gather his thoughts. However, during his cigarette break, his restless demeanor and constant murmuring made the detectives feel that he was on the verge of confessing something crucial that could entirely redefine the case.
Yes, I did.
Tell me what happened. How did this?
It's like peeling an onion, you know. The wires. Layers and layers.
Things were going fine. We were talking. And then I don't know what set her off. She just started going all that crazy. Not swinging or anything, but she just lost her cool.
Has that happened before?
Not to this degree. I mean, she's gone from being okay, or as I used to say, 0 to less than a second, but nothing like this. I mean, I don't know if it was something I said that set her off, because all we were talking about was how I was going to, pack up and leave, and, it would probably be better for everybody if I wasn't around, because everybody didn't have to worry or pretend to worry about me. And she just lost it. And then we started screaming and yelling and arguing. And then she got up in my face and I snapped.
What happened? She just right
Yeah, she got right up in my face, and I'm not saying I thought she would ever hit me or anything. I mean, don't take this wrong. She is a female. And yeah, I'm sure they can do some damage. And I just snapped. I lost control. I completely lost control. I picked her up, threw her to the ground, trying to get her to shut up and stop, and she just wouldn't listen.
Like almost like a wrestling type of thing, like you picked her up and
Yeah.
So what happened next?
I took her in her bedroom and I threw her in her bed and told her, just shut the fuck up and chill out, just chill out. And she just wouldn't shut up.
What was she saying?
You're so.
So what happened then?
And I tried to walk away, but she had said something that I attacked her in the bed, and the girls got all. How do I put it? We got all. Not scared, but it's like they went on the offensive. I'm like, no, no. And then they just.
Fight with that.
Yeah. And I tried everything I could, and I just couldn't. I mean, yeah, they hit me, and it didn't hurt, but I just kept thinking, I just got betrayed. I didn't do shit. She's the one that snapped on me. And I just lost it.
What happened?
I made them all go in the bedroom. I grabbed one of the knives from out of the kitchen. And I wasn't going to hurt them. I was just going to tie them up and just walk away. Just so I didn't have to try to fight them anymore to get out the door. The dog was going crazy. And she just wouldn't shut up. I don't know if she snapped or what. I don't. And I keep replaying it over in my head. What should I have done different? I mean, besides what I did. Why? What did I say? What did I do? What did I do this time?
Was she tied up at this point?
Yeah.
What was she tied up with?
She had zip ties in the house. Les did no. That's
I
not. No,
would not believe that.
No. That's. And she just wouldn't shut up.
After years.
I even tried putting duct tape on it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but were you panicking? Maybe you felt like you needed to get some money to get out of there. You didn't know what to do. You had to see something. You had to get out of the area.
What, with the gun?
Yeah. What happened with him?
And something had happened to his face. She had medicine that I was giving her at, once in the morning, once at night to help him heal. And she picked him up and she said it was worse, that I didn't do anything to take care of the dog. And then Gene came in and said something about, and I made a mistake and I lit a cigarette in the house. Mm-hmm. And he started going on this whole attitude about smoking, because he's a reformed smoker. Oh, right. And I understood why he wanted me to quit. Just the stress from the day before. And then he had a pistol downstairs that I don't know if he forgot he left out, but when I went down to do laundry, I saw it sitting there, and it was another 1911, chrome plated. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Try twirling it around. So being yelled at no more. So I told him to go up in the room and shut the fuck up. What was that? I didn't know it was loaded at first. I don't know why he would have kept a loaded gun sitting out. And then, Bobby just lay in the bed. Nothing's gonna happen. Lay in the bed. Gene, lay in the bed. I need time to get out. I need time to go. And as soon as I turned my back, he turned around and came running at me. And that's when I shot him in the head.
Was it like a reaction thing? Or?
Yeah, I had my back to him, and he turned around, and it was like a jerk reaction, and the thing went off. I'm like, oh. But he still tried to fight. Bobby sat up, was screaming, and all I did is I just said, shut up. And I didn't even know I would pull the trigger. I was just pointing at the guy like you would point your finger at somebody. And next thing you know,
let's take a second.
About doing anything like this to anybody. But I don't know. I wish I knew why I snapped. I can handle when other people snap. I've never snapped like that before. I mean, yeah, I'll get angry once in a while. And granted, this was not. I will punch a wall. I'll kick a tire.
You said this
happened
when you hit her. Right?
Yes, it did. I tried to get her to shut up, but I punched her.
People, you do a lot for her.
It doesn't matter. I shouldn't have did that.
No. But I'm saying.
And then the girl came in the middle of it. And then I started freaking out of bed. And then everything went down. And that's when I grabbed the knife. Get them all in the bedroom. She had zip tied it up.
Did the girls see you physically wrestling around with her?
I heard the door open and I came out of the bedroom and they're like, hi, and then their mom started screaming. And then that's when I said, get in the bedroom.
You had the knife with her?
Yeah, because I was trying first to get you to be quiet. That's all, just to be quiet. I never ever thought I hurt her. I never thought I could do anything like that because I had the knife when I came on. I had it down. I had it down by my side when they came in. Because I was going to try to get out the door. And then she started screaming, help, 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 help. And then the girls started panicking, and that's when I pulled the knife. We said, no, get in there.
How did the girls panic?
Taylor is easily stressed, easily panicked. She heard her mom screaming for help. She thought, I don't know, I can't say what she thought. She started crying and shaking. Kylie stood there and got this look on her face and I'm like, oh shit, here comes the Brahma bull. And I got scared. I didn't want to touch them at all. I didn't want to hurt them in any way. And that's why I put the knife up to scare them, to get in the bedroom, that's all. And they went in the bedroom, I grabbed the zip ties, and then there was duct tape sitting right there on the counter.
Did you bring that stuff into the house?
No.
Or was it there?
That stuff was there already. Okay. The duct tape that I had in my truck was like a thin roll like this, but it was in my toolbox that I'd taken out and put in Amy's garage. It was sitting there. She said, you killed my mom, you killed my mom, you killed my mom. I freaked out. I jumped on Jamie when I put her face in the pillow. I said, shut up, shut up. Just please shut up. And now the whole time I'm hearing that noise coming, I'm going over trying to get it to go away.
Overstood.
And I could still hear it. And I'm like, oh my God, what is that noise? And then Taylor stopped moving. Every time we were quiet one the whole time, she started yanking and kicking and even though her legs were taped. She was kicking and jumping all over the place. And I looked over and I saw a phone charger cord, and I just grabbed into it around her neck. And I kept it there till she stopped moving. I wish it would have been me. No, I do. They deserve to live, not me. They were great people. I'm not.
George's motive for murdering his best friend was so strange that it felt almost unbelievable. His overwhelming jealousy toward Suzanne's relationship with other men, coupled with her rejection, drove him to commit the tragic act of taking her family's lives. Yet, if what he claimed was true, he should have reflected on the irreversible consequences of his actions. This choice not only changed his life forever, but also inflicted unimaginable pain on Suzanne's loved ones. His shocking actions ultimately led him to a life behind bars, with no chance of escape. On October 4th, 2019, George Brinkman was found guilty and sentenced to death by a 3-judge Stark County panel in the killing of the John couple. Initially, on November 5th, 2018, George pleaded guilty to brutally murdering his longtime friend and her 2 adult daughters in their North Royalton home. But later he waived his right to a jury trial, leading to him pleading guilty again on October 4th, 2019. Finally, 4 years later, on May 31st, 2023, George was resentenced to death. After these unimaginable years of pain, the family felt relieved after a verdict was announced. George Brinkman remains on death row, with his execution scheduled for September 23rd, 2026.
Very, very happy. George Brinkman got exactly what he deserves, just like he did the first time.
So did you shoot him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where did you shoot?
I believe it landed on his neck.
On his neck?
I believe so.
Like in the side here or straight in?
I believe it was straight in.
This is 22-year-old Cassandris Blanc being questioned by the detective after his 22-year-old wife Martine Bernard went missing on June 4th, 2018. What was even more astonishing was that the missing wife was also 6 months pregnant. Cassandris' calm and collected demeanor appears to be his shield. Unbeknownst to him, this has only made him even easier to catch, never suspecting that his darkest secret is no longer his own. On June 9th, 2018, the Bernard family was preparing to attend a baby shower, a day filled with joy and happiness. As they were ready to leave, they couldn't find Martine's father, 68-year-old Roosevelt Bernard, at home. As time passed, the family grew concerned when Roosevelt didn't return home and decided to report his disappearance. Hollywood police arrived at the location and immediately began their investigation looking for the missing person. But soon into their search, what they discovered was a gruesome sight that was beyond their comprehension. Roosevelt was found dead and burned in a field close to his Hollywood residence. Though the body was nearly reduced to ashes, it wasn't the fire that killed him. After examining his body, the autopsy revealed that Roosevelt had died due to a gunshot wound. The police attempted to contact his daughter Martine, but couldn't get any response, as if she also had disappeared without a trace. Nobody knew who did this to Roosevelt and what had happened to Martine. The event shook the family to the core, but the worst nightmare of their lives was yet to come. With no response from Martine, the police approached her husband, Cassandris Blanc. Cassandris claimed to be with his in-laws when Roosevelt disappeared. He also informed the police that he couldn't find his wife, Martine, at home. The police felt something odd, as they suspected both cases were somehow related, and with burning questions in their minds, Cassandris was swiftly taken into custody for interrogation.
Let me just, to make sure that I understand this right, basically, this woman shows you a text, no, the woman tells you, check your text messages.
check my phone.
Check your phone. You open up your phone and you have a text message. Is it showing that it's coming from your wife?
Yes.
So it's not somebody else pretending to be your wife. It's coming from your wife's phone.
Yes.
And it says, does she say anything about killing her father?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cassandra's shocking claim that Martine was the one to kill her father left the detective stunned. What could have led her to such a drastic decision? What he describes next hints at something more sinister that no one imagined.
So basically, after the father was missing, Martine's whole demeanor has changed. She basically doesn't want to be out. I told her investigations wants to come see you. I texted her that because her phone isn't. There's something wrong with her phone as far as calling. And I texted her. I said investigations need to see you because you not showing up, it makes you look really bad.
And this was yesterday sometime? Okay. Let me ask you this. When was the last time that you had seen her father? When was the last time that you saw your wife?
Same day, Saturday.
You didn't see her Sunday? You didn't see her Monday?
I saw her on Sunday.
Okay.
I saw her Sunday. I saw her,
Today's Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Did you see her yesterday, Monday at all?
Did I see her yesterday? Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I saw her yesterday.
Where did you see her yesterday?
At home. She's always home.
Okay. Where do you think your wife is now?
Where do I think she is?
Right.
I don't know. That's why I was walking around this morning. I was honestly just looking for her. And I said, you know what? I'll just when I'm done putting everything up, as far as the ladder, throwing it away.
What were you throwing away the ladder?
The truck. It's full of blood. Yeah, she told me where it's located
and where was that next? Was it upstairs or downstairs where she told you it was? You said it was under the leaves?
Downstairs, yes, sir.
So you go down those back stairs, where was it from there?
In the leaves.
But where are the leaves?
Remember I told you where the car is parked?
Mm-hmm. Where your car is parked?
Well, behind it.
Which car is yours?
White Challenger.
Okay, behind it in that alleyway?
Yes, sir.
It was just sitting there, laying there?
Yeah, it was covered. She said it's covered over there underneath those leaves.
Now, why is she bringing this stuff back to you?
Well, she advised me that basically she wanted me to see if I wanted to just get her belongings to be just thrown out, if she and her brother were going to take care of it, or if I wanted to take care of it, and I chose I wanted to keep the phone.
I thought your wife had already killed her brother. Your wife told you that she had killed her father, and the guy that helped her, she had killed him too. That wasn't this woman's brother?
No.
Okay, a different person.
Basically, Juan is supposedly the guy's name that helped her kill her dad, supposedly.
And how do you know Juan?
I don't know Juan at all. I don't even know him. And then the brothers, she didn't, as far as I know, she didn't kill because she wanted to kill herself based on the message. She didn't want to, like I said.
Well, did this woman say that your wife was already dead? This one that
she said my brother is taking care of it. And
so her brother was going to kill your brother. Your wife killed her father and Juan.
So it sounds like my wife killed herself, or she's the type of person that how can I say it? She doubts herself a lot. She's easily scared. So a lot of times
But she would have killed herself in a 5 or 6 hour period because she was alive at 7 o'clock when you went to 6 o'clock when you went to Hollywood. She was alive when you got the text message at 9 o'clock after the interview.
I told her, you need to go see investigations right now because they're wanting to speak to you tonight. It's very serious. It's your dad.
Your dad
And
is
you think
there.
that's why she killed herself?
I think so. She admitted it in the message. She didn't want to go through the consequences.
After listening to Cassandra's version of the story, the detective is set to take charge. At this moment, the suspect realizes that the detective already knows his horrifying secret. What the detective is about to reveal will undoubtedly twist the case in an unexpected direction.
I appreciate you listening to. I've talked to you. I've asked you some questions. Some of them you've answered honestly. Some of them I don't think you have. But at least.
Which one do you think?
Well, I'm getting ready to tell you. At least you're speaking to me. Obviously, you've got to know you're in some pretty serious trouble now. But within the next few minutes or two, you're going to have to make that decision. Either you're going to be straight with me and you're going to give me some reasons, and you're going to get this off your chest, and you're going to start working in that direction. Not only were they following you in the car, but there was more than two. There were several more. They followed you to the store. They saw what you bought. And when you went back to your apartment and you parked the car down at the end, they sat there and they waited. They waited and they watched. And they watched. And they watched. And they saw you come out. And they saw you go down and get the dumpster. They saw you come back. They saw you go down and put the cart in the other dumpster. There wasn't a woman. Just get it off your chest. Tell me what happened. I mean, just let it go. Just let it go. What happened? Cassandra, what happened? How come? Where did it happen?
My life is done.
Where did it happen? Here. It's just water. Just let it go. Let it out while you're doing it. Just let it go.
Why are you doing this?
Because we've got to get it out. We came this far. We got to get it out.
As Cassandra's carefully crafted facade shatters before his very eyes, he has no choice but to confess the truth. The most horrifying revelations that were about to be disclosed will leave the detective stunned and speechless.
What started it? Argument?
It hurt me a lot, because her sister's best friend, he would always say things to her, to tell her, to convince her why we shouldn't be. I felt like he always tried to mess up what we had together.
Was he hitting on her?
It came off as not as him hitting on her, but it came off as him, just wanting to have her, to not have her, I'm sorry, to be with her. He would always tell her how I'm not good for her, it's a mistake, just giving her reasons why we shouldn't be together. And then,
what was his name?
JB.
Jamie?
JB.
JB.
Yeah. So, I felt like that's all he wanted to do, was to just mess up our marriage. Anytime we had an argument, she would go to him and open up to him. And I told her that's really disrespectful because, it's not for you to do that. It's not respectful. It's like as if you're going to someone else for closure, and I don't do that to you. I don't go to another woman for closure.
You wanted to keep your business in your house.
I keep to myself. I keep to myself. And I just wanted the same. I treated her just like I wanted to be treated. Gave her attention. I gave her respect. So much respect. I showed her love. I showed her what it means for someone to really love you. You know, I did everything that I would want to be. I would want to have done to me, and she wasn't doing that. She was hurting me a lot, and I don't. This is the first time I'm actually like expressing myself because I hold it in. It's been going on for months and months and months and months. I'm happy with her. I'm extremely happy with her. But it's hurtful when she keeps going to him, you know, for that closure, and I don't do that. It's hurtful when he tries to separate us.
How long have they had this friendship going on?
For an entire year. So one day I finally decided to just get it off my chest instead of keeping it in. I said, Martine, you know you're hurting me, right? And she looked at me and she said, why? And then I told her why. And then I told her what I just said. And then I'm being very honest with you right
That's
now.
what I want.
It's everything I'm saying is the honest truth. I told her you're hurting me, and she asked why, and I explained it to her, and she rolled her eyes, and she just disregarded what I said, and I said, you don't care? And she looked at me in the eye and said, honestly, I don't feel the same way that you feel. I don't care, she said, and I asked her 3 times to make sure. So you don't care? No. You don't care? No. I feel bad that, it hurts you that, I talk about what we go through to him, and then he gives his 2 cents as to why we shouldn't be together. But she said she didn't care. And she looked at me and she said she didn't care how I felt. And I said okay. And I knew she was gone. And I was, I went to bed, in pain, just went to bed and early and woke up in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom. And I looked at her sleeping and I was like, you don't care? So I went into my car, got the gun, and I shot her while she was sleeping.
Where did you shoot her?
We were sleeping in the living room, and I shot her.
What part of the body?
The head.
How many times?
Just once.
You felt bad right away?
Of course. I felt really bad.
Whose gun was it?
I felt so bad. I didn't mean to do that. But I knew I did. And I knew if anyone found out, that's it. I'm done.
Whose gun was it?
I went online. I did whatever I could. I just had it there, you know, because she was having a baby, and I just wanted to have it there, you know, just in case. If anyone, you know, just wanted to protect my family.
But where did you get it?
So, I got it online. I bought it from someone. I met him in person. I gave him $500 cash.
So that was last week, Monday night or Tuesday night?
Monday morning before she was supposed to go to work. It was Sunday when she told me that. And Monday morning, in the middle of the night, 3, maybe 4.
Did she say anything, or was it quick? Or
it was quick. It made a loud noise. It scared the shit out of me. I didn't expect it to be that loud. I didn't expect it to be that loud. I didn't expect her to be bleeding so much.
that was the first time that you shot that gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first time. I felt so bad when I saw her bleeding so much.
I know.
She was coughing up so much blood, and I couldn't take it back. I couldn't take it back. It was done. So I went to sleep in the other room. I couldn't look at her. I just went to sleep.
Did you cover her up? Did you cover her up or leave her there?
I left her there. I was so upset with myself.
Now what
I
was
felt
she
bad.
was laying on the floor?
She was laying on the bed.
Oh, that little bed in the living room? Okay.
And then when I woke up in the morning, I saw all the blood. I tried to clean it up little by little. Just clean it up and just, you know, take paper towel, clean it.
What'd you do with the paper towels?
I threw them out.
Where?
Trash, you know.
The dumpster downstairs or the...
This was last week. It's already gone.
What'd you do with her?
So, slowly, little by little, you know, I cleaned the bed, threw the sheets out, threw the bed out.
How'd you get the bed out?
Well, I deflated it.
Oh, it was an air mattress.
Okay. I folded it. I threw that out, and then at that point she was on the floor.
Where'd you throw the mattress out?
I threw it in the trash.
The same dumpster there? The one by the stairway or the one farther down?
Yeah.
Which one?
The stairway.
That's probably been emptied since then too.
Say it again.
Has that one been emptied? The big metal one or the little plastic one? You know, like the trash bins or the big metal?
Like the one Waste Management picks up.
Okay. And that was the one over by the stairs where you were throwing that stuff? Over by your apartment?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then it came down to her body. I tried so hard to get her up. I couldn't. She was heavy. Before I took her out, when I finally was able to take her out, I actually even with the blood, I actually kissed her on her forehead. Before that, because she was so heavy, I tried, you know, I tried to as best as I can to do it one by one. Like I was very desperate to just get her out, you know, because of the consequences. I was very desperate, and
I understand
I you know, tried to see if I can cut her head, cut her hand.
Did it work?
No, I couldn't finish it. I felt bad.
When you shot her, did you shoot her like where on her head?
Here.
Forehead, like to the side, to the temple?
Somewhere around there, yes.
Were you able to cut her into pieces at all?
No.
When did you bring the dumpster upstairs?
Before. Yeah, to be before.
How did you get it back downstairs?
It was so difficult. It was falling. I tried really hard to make sure I had a good grip on it so the lid doesn't fall out. Because if the lid falls out, she could possibly fall and it would have been really bad and people would have seen. And
Cassandritz, in the beginning, tried to keep himself restrained, each word carefully measured and his demeanor unwavering. But as the story unraveled, so did his composure. He confessed with a vulnerability that was almost childlike, and even now, with so much exposed, more disturbing layers were still waiting to be disclosed.
Anything else that you want to tell me, that you want to, I mean, as far as what happened that I haven't asked you, that you want to explain? I mean,
I was responsible for her father.
I knew that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to, and as long as we're doing this all at one time, was he shot too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The Hollywood guys are waiting out here. The one guy is, and I'm going to ask him to come in and talk to you, and we'll just get all the shit out of the way at one time. You spoke with him. I don't know what the hell this is nuts, but Cassandrich is being pretty straight. He's coming forward. We talked about his wife. Are you going to be straight with the detective and get this all out of the way now?
What happened to Mr. Bernard Roosevelt, right? What happened with him?
I made a mistake, with my wife, and I was really desperate. I wanted to really not be, in this consequence. So, I sat there and I tried to think of how this can be presented. So I got the idea because I knew that if he came up missing, like came up deceased,
right,
by another deceased person, it would cancel each other out, and no one's responsible.
Okay.
I was being very immature. That's what I was like thinking. So that way,
is that why you actually went over to the house on Saturday?
Is that why I went over to the house?
Correct, because you orchestrated this plan, right? If one deceased person killed another deceased person, they cancel each other out. Oh, correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. So did you shoot him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where did you shoot?
I believe it landed on his neck.
On his neck?
I believe so.
Like in the side here or straight in?
I believe it was straight in.
Okay, like.
That's how it looked.
Like that?
That's how it looked.
One time?
Only once. No, sorry, twice.
Twice?
I'm sorry, twice. Once on the neck and on the back. And the reason I did that was because on the neck, it went off. And then I saw him still moving, and I panicked, and I did it again.
Where did you do this in the house?
Martine's old room.
What did you do then? How did you conceal him from the rest of the family?
So basically, I closed the door and I locked it temporarily, took the keys, threw it away.
I took the keys for that particular bedroom and threw it away.
Yes.
Okay.
And when they left, I took his remains, I put it in the dumpster.
Where did you go with the barrel?
To the front. And I just, put the barrel on the grass, and I just left it in front of someone's home, and that was it, you know.
Did you take him out of the trash can at that point?
Yes,
Where did you leave him?
by the grass.
Like high grass, like bushes, or like grass? Okay. Close to a fence or far from the fence?
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I tried to turn it into ashes.
Turn his remains into ashes.
No one could have imagined that Cassandra's whole story from the beginning was nothing but a web of lies just to evade the consequences of his gruesome actions. Yet, his deception was futile, as there was no way out. The only fate that awaited him was a life behind bars. 5 years later, in September 2023, Cassandris Blanc faced 3 life sentences for killing his wife, father-in-law, and his unborn child. He also faced 2 more charges for abusing a dead body. In a last-ditch effort, he pleaded guilty to avoid the death penalty.
At some point while you're on the phone with your sister and walking around the woods, did you find something?
Yes, I stepped over a log and found the remains.
And specifically, when you said remains, what did you see?
Specifically, I found a human skull.
The community was paralyzed with fear when 22-year-old police officer Miles Bryant, entrusted with their safety, was accused of murdering 16-year-old Susana Morales. Her remains were discovered over 20 miles from Norcross in a forested area on February 6, 2023.
Now, he signaled you, and when you walked over there, what did you first observe?
There was a Glock 19 handgun underneath some pine straw.
Miles Bryant's firearm was discovered near the site, linking him to the case. After his arrest on February 13, 2023, several women came forward, accusing Miles of stalking and breaking into their homes.
I was shocked. I felt like it could have been me because he was the person at my door coming and unscrewing my knob and kicking it down and stuff like that.
This screen grab of a man in military fatigues from October shows the first time Bates says a neighbor's camera recorded him at her door. She says 2 other videos from December show him back there again, covering his face and pulling on the door handle, then again knocking.
The community was left in shock after a police officer, once seen as a protector, was charged with a horrific crime that forever changed the life of the suspect.
On July 26th at approximately 6 p.m., we know that Susana Morales left her home on Santa Ana Drive in Norcross and walked a short distance to the Sterling Glen apartment complex on Indian Trail Road. There, she met with her friend for about 4 hours, and at about 10 o'clock, she began her trek back to her house. We know that between 10 and 10:30 p.m., Susana had an interaction with an individual and ultimately was not seen or heard from again.
This surveillance video captures the last moments 16-year-old Susana Morales was seen July 26th. She was walking home near Singleton Road and Indian Trail Lilburn Road after visiting a friend.
Something happened in between the place that we got the camera footage from and our neighborhood, and that's like a minute apart. So something happened in that little minute, and we just haven't been able to figure out what happened.
Jasmine defended her sister when the police suggested Susana might have fled home.
So we know that she's not out there because she wants to be. She will never do that. I mean, it's been over a month. It would have been like, so she would have contacted like her boyfriend, my mom, me, or at least. It's frustration of not knowing where she is, not knowing anything, you know? Like, all I ask sometimes is I just want to know where she's at so I can get her.
This case was immediately assigned to our Criminal Investigations Division, who worked diligently on this case and followed up on a number of leads and tips. However, those leads and tips did not come to fruition. We know that on February the 6th, a citizen who was walking in the area of Drowning Creek Road and Highway 316 happened upon skeletal remains. The Gwinnett County Police Department sealed that crime scene, the Gwinnett County Medical Examiner took custody of those remains, and they were positively identified as having belonged to Susana Morales. The following morning, February 7th, we brought out a large contingency of police personnel and conducted a methodical and meticulous search known as a grid search. And during that search, we located a firearm that had been reported stolen on July 27th. This is the same day that Susanna was reported missing. That firearm we traced back to a 22-year-old former Doraville police officer named Miles Bryant. Bryant then became a person of interest in our case. We continue investigating, and on February 13th, we secured warrants for concealing the death of another.
Miles Bryant was promptly called in for questioning.
I just play basketball. Sorry.
Nah, you good. We've been all over this complex.
Oh, man. You Doraville? Yeah. How long you been with them? 2.5 years now. You like it? Yeah. So, yeah, when she first was missing, I was talking to the neighborhood team, stuff like that. Didn't really know anything. I really get to school after watching the news, and my girl used to stay here, literally just moved out, and pretty much it.
Yeah. Nothing. What are those neighborhood kids saying?
I haven't talked to them in a minute, but when she first was missing, it was like they was just with her, and they were joining on each other, some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything actually. Like me and my girl was talking about it, stuff like that. It was like it's just weird. They said she was walking home, and then she just, you know.
And that's what we're just out here asking questions and stuff. Like, how many calls do you get, like, being courteous? None of us are courteous.
No, we get maybe like. It depends. Like I get stupid calls like noise complaints.
Yeah, we get
noise complaints, and
do you have to come out and handle those, or?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come out. Sometimes I try to get West Side guys.
Yeah.
Come out, stuff like that. Sometimes I ride around a patrol.
Yeah. You're doing a lot more than some. I worked down in the South Precinct before I started, down in like Stone Mountain, and man, there was one courteous officer. He wouldn't do a thing. Like he was calling us for every little thing, man. It was ridiculous.
All right, so we just got some questions. We got to run over some stuff. It seems like you're courtesy here, so you know kind of things what's going on.
Well versed in what's happening in the complex.
So you got some time for us to come up to our headquarters and just talk about what you see on a daily basis and stuff like that.
Yeah. Can that be today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now? No. I was actually finna head out.
Where are you going?
I have to go meet my girlfriend and I have to work with her.
Okay.
Would I be out by the time work? Or?
What time?
4?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, like I said, we just got some questions that courtesy officer between you and the leasing office. You guys probably get calls all the day, and we're literally talking to everyone here. So we're just trying to document we got no lease, man. We're just trying to document everything. That's all we are.
No problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Do I come with y'all? Can I drive there?
We'll drive you, man.
Yeah, we'll take you up there.
Yeah, you don't gotta waste your gas or anything and all that stuff.
Can I drive?
County gas, man.
No problem. Can I call my girlfriend later?
We'll call her once we get up there, okay? Right now, we'll just go up there. You got any guns or anything on you
no,
right now?
No, I don't.
You don't? No. Okay, can I pat you down just to make sure?
What's going on, man?
You're good. It's our policy, man. We just.
Yeah,
I know how this road.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you know
how it is.
You know that we don't want to get our balls busted with the GDM and everything.
All right. You can get up front seat, all right, man? In this particular instance, when you picked up the defendant, did you observe any manifestations that you just described that you might term, as a detective with the experience, signs of nervousness?
Yes, sir.
And would you explain what those were?
So almost immediately when we began talking to Mr. Bryant, his hands were almost uncontrollably shaking. His breathing was elevated, and you can see his chest rising and falling. And then while we were in the car on the way, while we were continuously having a dialogue, he kind of leaned his head up against the side of the car and attempted or tried to take a nap.
The investigation is still ongoing, and if there's further charges in the future, those will be known. As of right now, it's still early in.
So you said you worked at Forsyth?
Yes.
So how long did you work at Forsyth?
Maybe a year.
Okay. You go to school or anything? Like college?
I thought about it, but I want to get working, so.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
Me?
Police department?
I want to get like a crime suppression team, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
like lead it?
Yeah.
Nice.
It probably goes, not lead us, and then probably goes like CID.
Okay.
Detective.
What kind of CID stuff you want to do?
We just have general CID. I don't know. I know it's not breaking up, stuff like that.
City agencies do that.
I want to do like maybe like burglary.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I hate people who steal,
Yeah.
I like thieves.
Okay. So, I know that your gun was stolen. Do you know if it was located or anything yet?
No, I've heard anything.
I haven't run it yet. We probably need to check that, see if it's still, but they would have called you.
I can't find my wallet, my holster's there. My gun and holster is never separate, we the people conceal holster. If I take it, I take the holster. I don't carry it free. So, That's definitely missing. You want me to get the serial number for you real quick? If you don't mind. Yeah, sorry about that. And if you run my tag, I'm the registered owner. I don't have my wallet, so I have my ID on.
No, that's fine. Do you think your wallet was in the truck as well, or?
I think so, because I mean, I didn't. The pants I had on yesterday, I took it in the house, looked through all the grocery bags. I only went in the house, and I came out here and I ran around the neighborhood. I'm the courtesy officer. And then last night, when my girl got back from, we did something. We came back. I drove around a little bit, and I needed to do patrol anyway. I drove around a little bit, see if I could find it. I didn't see it. It was dark in a little bit.
Okay. Either way, I'll list it in the truck just to say it's out on the report.
Yeah. I don't really care about, the detective stuff like that. I just want to get on GCIC at least. Some person get caught on the side of the road with it,
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Did in your call with Mr. Bryant, he make any statements about how he wanted you to handle or investigate the report?
He stated that he just wanted the gun listed as stolen and that he didn't really want detectives looking into it.
Based on your training and experience with Gwinnett County Police Department, what were your thoughts when you heard that? Is that normal?
I found it a little odd that we had a serial number for specific property that could be returned to him, but he didn't want any follow-up done with this case.
Did you know her at all, Morales? Nothing? Nothing at all. Never saw her like playing basketball or anything with the other kids?
Never. I didn't recognize her at all. That is crazy.
However, Alyssa Marvin had a different perspective to share.
Had you ever had any personal interactions with the defendant before Susanna disappeared?
Yes.
And can you tell us what those are?
So there was one time, well, there was multiple times he would drive by and, he'll say hello and everything to everyone. And there was one time we were at the pool and it was me and Kelly. Susanna came after, like towards the end before we left, but we were there at the pool and he came with his backpack and he had a drink with him and he had little shot cups and he had edibles and stuff, and he asked how old I was, and then when I told him my age, he still wanted to talk to me but didn't talk to me because of my age. So he knew not to drink with me, but he wanted to drink with me before he knew my age, but he still offered the edibles. But then that was the interaction I had with him that night. And before we left, I believe it was the same day, we wanted to order pizza because, it's a hot day outside. Someone wants to eat. We wanted to eat and we was going to order pizza. He offered us to give us a ride to get pizza, but we said no because we're underage, you're grown, so we said no to that. We ordered pizza. We went home about our day. That was the one, I could say face-to-face interaction, full conversation.
Since that time, our criminal investigators have been working this case continuously, and we have reached a threshold to where these charges have now been upgraded to felony murder and kidnapping charges.
Miles.
Yes.
This is where we're at, okay? And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Your phone records are there. You make 2 phone calls 3 hours after she's last seen on camera. And your gun is found right there as well with your phone, where those 2 phone calls are placed. Help me out.
I understand where this is coming from.
No, I'm saying, I know you do, just help me out a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know what you're thinking, but no.
What would you think?
You think that's something to do?
No, I said, what would you think?
Oh no, I get that part, but now my heart's beating. It's like, whoa, I get that. That's almost like, hey, stuff like that. But no, I never been like that, I would never do something like that. I was actually on the phone with her, her and my side chick, like that, and I'm talking to them about stuff. That's it.
What's your side chick name?
Avion.
Avion, that's the one that lives.
Austell area.
You getting chased around by your girlfriend and then call your side chick to decompress.
Yeah, and then I talk to my girlfriend and we end up meeting and stuff like that.
So, the phone records put you literally right there. And it's not your personal phone. You call her on your work phone.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
I think my personal phone was dead.
Okay.
But I have both their numbers. I just need to calm down.
Is It shows you in the woods.
In the woods?
Mm-hmm.
I never left my show. I think I was in the woods.
Cell phone data placed Miles near the location of Susanna's remains on the night she disappeared. Records also indicated that his phone returned to the area later that morning, about an hour before he reported his firearm stolen.
My DNA, whatever.
We've done that. Soldier to soldier, cop to cop.
Yeah.
I told you I've looked into Susanna.
Yeah.
I know what kind of friend she had.
Mm-hmm.
I know what she did, and I know how she was. Basically, we know you were there, but we need to figure out why and what happened. I don't think you're a bad guy. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't brought up here in handcuffs or anything.
Yeah, no.
So, and I have your back. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're like family. You know what I'm saying? We're all family here. I got to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
Because there's no arguing if you were there, if you weren't, we know you were.
Right.
So we have to, I know that it was more than you were talking to your girlfriend, there was movement around there, so that's what we have to cover right now, okay? Tell me what happened, please.
I don't know. I literally was with my girlfriend, on the phone with my girlfriend, and that's it.
During testimony, Miles's ex-girlfriend, Abion Smyer, contradicted his story of that night and pointed out suspicious scratches on his truck.
In this case, I called the cause of death undetermined due to decomposition with skeletonization. I believe if I had had the intact body, I could have come up with a specific cause of death, but I'm limited based on what I have. The body is too decomposed. All I have is a skeleton. Because the circumstances, again, young female, this isolated area where it's far removed from where she was last known to be alive, and no personal effects, no clothing. As a medical examiner with 30 years of experience, if I were to see an intact individual at this type of a scene, first thing I'm going to think of is some type of homicidal violence, specifically some type of asphyxial type component, strangulation, suffocation, chest compression, things of that nature. Because if you have a nude individual, nude or partially nude, that better be, as a medical examiner, that better be one of the first things you're thinking about.
Though an autopsy couldn't be performed to prove assault, Miles's actions were motivated. Detective Angela Carter testified about her findings from Miles's search history.
I found photographs of him looking at the media coverage of Susanna that had the pictures attached to them.
All right, now 396, what are we looking for here?
How are you ID by dental records?
And when did this search occur?
February 9th, 2023 at 4:04 a.m. UTC time, which would be February 8th, 2023 at 11:04 p.m.
All right. How long after the defendant searched for the camera footage from the Georgia Department of Transportation, and I'll try to put them both on the screen here, did he search for how was somebody identified by dental records?
A little over 10 minutes later.
And then lastly, it says record number 404. What is that search?
Gwinnett County teen found.
Michael Jones, a fellow inmate of Miles in prison, also testified against him.
Okay, and what conversation did you have with him about some of the details of what was contained in the discovery?
After a few days, after he read it, looked over it, he come back out and he said, "Well, I don't think I'm not gonna get charged for this. They ain't got nothing against me. There's no. It says right here, plain. He says it says right here, plain. There's no blood, no semen, no nothing. They can't. They ain't got nothing against me."
A former classmate, Alicia Bates, provided testimony that shed light on Miles's character.
I've known him since 5th grade. We grew up together.
She believes that Miles broke into her home.
Well, my neighbor told me that she saw Miles come into our community and listening to my door when I wasn't home and just trying to see if I was home, messing with my doorknob and stuff. She told me, and when she showed me the video of him, it was all alarming.
Then did you go out and get a firearm because of him?
Yes.
She stated that Miles became so aggressive that she feared for her life and reported him to his employer, the Doraville Police Department.
I don't think they took the matter serious because he was a cop. However, I do feel like if they did, Susanna could still be alive.
She claims their stalking occurred both before and after 16-year-old Susanna Morales went missing in July.
He was capable of it. When the officers asked me why he was trying to break into my apartment, I told them that I was scared that he was trying to break me.
Elisha Bates now believes her childhood friend, former Doraville police officer Miles Bryant, stalked her at her Snellville apartment last year. She believes this Ring video her neighbor gave her is Bryant, as he lurked around her door, trying her knob, wearing a hood on his head. She says he even broke in one time when she was not home.
Okay, Ms. Bates, we were talking about the last time on December 12th, 2022, the day after you had called police, and you said you saw him by your dumpster trash area in your complex.
Yes, ma'am. I saw him. I was walking to my car. I felt like somebody was watching me. It was pretty late, so I was alert. It's pretty dark.
Did you see a vehicle?
I did. I saw a F-150 parked by the dumpsters with a dark-skinned male standing outside with glasses on.
Okay, and what did you do when you saw that F-150 in the mail?
I hurried up and got in my car and locked the doors and called my boyfriend, or my ex-boyfriend.
And did you leave your complex that night then?
I did.
Did you, after then, that was in December of 2022, did you ever initiate any more contact with Mr. Bryant?
No, ma'am.
Did you hear from him any other time?
No, he kept texting me, but I never responded.
And again, since knowing him from 5th grade to today, did you guys ever go on a date?
Never.
Did you ever sleep together?
Never.
Did you ever express any interest in him?
Never.
Would she have gone there while y'all were talking, while you were driving around?
I don't know where she went. I think she was driving around too.
Okay.
Miles, I'm getting frustrated because I feel like you think I'm lying to you.
No, I believe.
No,
really.
Because maybe I am wrong about you. Maybe I'm wrong. You also tried to get into a girl's apartment off Annistown. You didn't? Oh, your phone was just casually there too?
No, they had a whole investigation about that. I was there, but I didn't try to break in her apartment. She lied.
So what was you trying to do?
I was talking to her. Like we was free. Like
You didn't try to open her door?
Me and my sergeant.
You didn't answer my question. You didn't try to open her door?
Yes.
Okay, I know. Why was you hiding your head?
It was raining.
Oh, it was raining. Where was your PC? You was wearing a gray jacket.
Yeah, because
that was a violation of 6.
You're right.
Yeah, exactly. Because you didn't want anyone to see your hat because it has your name on the back of your head. Okay?
No, I didn't have a PC on, I swear.
I know, exactly. Yeah. Because you didn't want people to see your name.
No.
Yes.
She knew exactly where I was. She knew who I was.
She didn't want you there.
She didn't ever tell me that. She never told me that.
Did she invite you over?
No.
You didn't. So you just show up to this girl's apartment and try to break in. That's how it looks, right?
Yeah.
So casually, you're just the victim in all this. You just casually be in all these victim situations where you're just casually in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what you're telling me.
No, my sergeant did a whole investigation.
Miles, you gotta just take a minute, take a breath.
I am.
You gotta stop. Hey,
Miles, who is the suspect in this?
It's okay. Take a breath. Take a deep breath. We need your help. We want to give this family closure.
I understand that.
Your gun's there. Your phone puts you in the woods. What can we give this family?
You're not a bad person, Miles. This is not just an effect on you, this is an effect on all officers everywhere.
I know, I'm not, it's not me. It's not me.
If you were me, what would you do?
I understand it, I don't know.
Tell me, what would you do? Tell me.
Investigate some more stuff like that, I don't know.
Like what?
I know you did your thing, you did your due diligence. It's not, nothing to do with that part. You can ask my girlfriend, nobody was with me. When she was with me, even before all that nobody was with me.
How do you explain your truck being parked in front of Susanna's house a month after she went missing?
What you mean?
So do you guys use Vigilant? You know what Vigilant is?
Mm-hmm.
So it compiles, you got LPR cars?
Yeah.
So it takes every LPR car, and it takes all the LPR cars from the repo people,
and it puts it into vigilant, and we can research that. So doing our due diligence, your truck is sitting outside Susanna's house. Where does she live? I sit outside her house. Where does she live? Jeff, can you show me my truck? I can't.
Yeah, sure can. Yeah. No, I can't. It's dead. Pretty sure I took a picture of it though.
Like just sitting there?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where she lives. God.
It's not a question about if it's you or not, because we already know that.
No.
But listen, it's a question about what happened, okay?
Sitting there. It's not.
It's a question about if you are a cold-blooded killer or if you made a mistake. That's literally where we're at right now.
Susanna's family attorney, Alex Northover, states that the Doraville police failed to take timely corrective action.
There were multiple indications that this individual presented a danger. There was a previous allegation of stalking.
Alex Northover asserts that the city of Doraville should be held accountable, adding that he communicated with officials during the ongoing criminal and civil investigations.
Take responsibility for their role in this tragic incident and take measures to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
He suggests it's time to reform the process of recruiting new officers.
Increased hiring, screening procedures, adequate training.
Yet, more startling revelations are on the horizon.
While he was on duty and in uniform, asked her to utilize her cell phone because he needed to log into his bank. And instead of doing so, he accessed her videos and sent himself videos of conducting sexual activity on her phone. He is a danger to women in this community. He is has not upheld the oath that he took to protect and serve both the citizens of Doraville and the state of Georgia.
The jury viewed police body cam footage documenting Miles's interaction with a girl who returned home after being reported missing by her family in May 2022.
Something was happening to you. We're doing a rape or a missing person, then we find your body out there in the woods. Then what? Because I know you're probably strong and you're smart and you know say no to strangers, stuff like that. But nowadays people don't care. People are my size, big, and just come snatch you up. You can scream, you can shout all you want. They're gonna throw you in the back of the van and go take you, and your parents will never see you again.
This badge is supposed to stand for something. It's supposed to stand for the obligation somebody takes to serve and to protect their community. Every officer takes that sworn statement. It's on the side of police cars. They are to serve and to protect. That flag, the United States flag, means something. When somebody in the National Guard takes an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States and the laws of our country and the laws of the state of Georgia, it means something. But to the defendant, it meant nothing. He took those oaths, and as you've seen through the trial, violated them time and time again. He didn't serve, he didn't protect, he abused. He took his power, he took his badge, and he used that to violate the law. He used that to murder. He is a cop-turned killer.
Do you personally, Miles Bryant, want to testify or not?
No, ma'am.
The defendant has freely and voluntarily decided not to testify with a complete understanding of his rights. Has the jury reached a verdict? Okay, if you'll hand it to my bailiff. State of Georgia versus Miles Bryant. Indictment number 24B-00156-4. Count 1, malice murder. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. Count 2, felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. Count 3, kidnapping. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. Count 4, criminal attempt to commit rape. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. Count 5, false report of a crime. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
Defense attorney Tracy Drake addressed the press following the trial.
Can you give us a little bit of insight as to what you said during your opening and your closing here when you talked about the jury, you warned the jury they were going to hate Miles Bryant. You warned them that they would think he was cold and callous. And you said you didn't even like him much yourself.
Well, just because of the family not knowing for 7 months. You know, that's awful. I mean, I'm a parent. Any parent, you know, I cannot imagine what she went through. And Miss Maria was very gracious to me. I think y'all heard me say I don't like to approach the family, but you know, I did give her a hug today to express my condolences to her because I know that must have been horrible.
Last question. What do you think the most damning piece of evidence the prosecution put forth that pretty much sealed your client's fate?
The Life 360. The Life 360. Of course, some of the other evidence was damaging, but I don't think if they had the Life 360 that they would have been able to really go forward.
Not the gun in the cell tower.
Not, because I think without the Life 360, it would have made it even more difficult to show arguably where she was picked up, where she went, the crash alert. I think all of that really bolstered their case to show that obviously that he did something to her.
It took over just 5 hours to reach a verdict, a moment Susana Morales' family had been waiting for nearly 2 years.
All we ever wanted was justice for what happened to her. I mean, nothing will ever bring her back to this day. I still hope that I'll see her again.
I just hope that after today, you and your family can find some peace. That is what I wish for you. Hopefully, you will receive some peace now.
The world was stunned when a police officer sworn to serve and protect was found guilty of a horrific crime involving Susana, raising several questions. Did law enforcement fail in Susana's case by delaying public awareness? Were earlier stalking allegations against Miles Bryant dismissed because of his role as an officer? Was Susana's kidnapping and murder a calculated act or an impulsive crime? Like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more such content.